Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Now this week I'm still trying to record a video after, I think this is my 5th attempt. Now some of you have been watching my channel for probably about a year will know that this time last year I was desperately trying to get some images of badgers and never really managed to get them to come out during the daytime, which was a bit of a nightmare. And I don't know why that happened. This site's been really good over the previous 5 or 6 years. The location is great for the sun and everything else, but it just didn't seem to happen. They just didn't come out at all. So I'm here again this year trying again. This is the 5th time I've been up here and still no luck. If you're thinking maybe the badgers aren't there, they are there because I did bump into 2 when I'd set up somewhere else. A couple of youngsters were out, but it was just far too dark because I was making my way back. So they are here. Now today what I've decided to do is really stick it out. So rather than go as soon as it gets too dark to use the camera, I've bought a flash up with me, which I'm hopefully going to use off camera and try and get some images. But we'll see, you just never know what's going to happen. But what I'll do, I'll take you around the site so you can see where I am and how I'm setting up. And then the waiting begins. Right, so if I sort of show you the site a bit, I don't want to turn you around in that direction. Basically in that direction, you can probably tell from me, you've got the sun, which is now about to start to drop down in the west. I'm actually stood on the side of a Motte and Bailey castle here. So basically this is a really steep slope. And obviously for light reasons, if the badgers come out onto this slope, you get some really lovely golden light. And that's what I've always got in the past, which I'm hoping to get again. I hope it's not too windy up here. Let me move you in here a bit. It's a bit of a breeze blowing today. And I'll just show you where the badgers are located now. I don't think they're out there. So quiet a second. Okay, they're not out yet. If things go to plan, they won't be out at all until it's dark. But you won't be able to see, but through here, there's a lot of new setts been dug out. They used to be further over that side, and that's where I set up last year. But I did a bit of a recce a few weeks ago and noticed that all the new soil that had been dug out was on this side. So it looks like they've migrated over to this side a little bit more. So what I've been doing the last 5 days, and I'll just show you, in this, I'll just show you, in this area here, it's bare soil as they come out onto the hillside with this overhanging hawthorn tree. And I've set up about 10-15 metres in that direction. There's a tree here as they come out and there's a path leading out this way. And I've been putting a little bit of peanut butter on there, and then basically a small trail of peanuts out up onto the bank in front of me. And what I've also done, one of the problems with this field is that it has cattle in it, and cattle are really good at grazing, but unlike sheep, they won't take the seed heads of the grass. So what you end up with, if this was a sheep in this field, the grass would be shorn, you know, with an inch of its life right to the floor, which would be ideal for photographing badgers. But here, because it's cattle, they leave all the seed heads, so you get all these seed heads shooting up. And it's really difficult to get a decent image. So what I've done, I've bought some clippers up, and just a small area in front here, I've cut a lot of the grass seed heads off, just so that I can try and get the badgers to come up here on the peanut trail. I'm going to come out of here now onto this section here of the bank, out in the open, and then hopefully put a few peanuts down here. They'll ferret them out of the grass, and while they're doing that, I can take some images. That's the plan. That's what I've done the last 5 days, and I've not heard a peep out of them. That's why this time I bought the flash unit up, and I've just said, look, I'm going to stop and I'll do some flash photography. Unfortunately, it'd be difficult to get any video, which I wanted to get, but to be honest, at the minute, I'd just be glad of anything. It's been such hard work, and I've got no idea what's changed. None at all. It's all right, no, it's not, you're all right. sometimes on the hillside you get the odd one run up or something. I have had that in the past, but anyway, I'm going to get set up now just here in my position, and I'll speak to you in a minute. Now, one of the things you might be wondering is, obviously my camera's pointing that way, I'm looking this way. Now the reason for that is this hillside here, it gives me an absolutely fantastic view, and because of the wind direction today, which is blowing in that direction straight into my face, it's actually coming more or less from the west, so my scent will be going directly behind me, which obviously the set's in that direction. But what that enables me to do is, while I'm waiting, I can scan this whole field in front of me, and you know, sometimes you can see things. I've had foxes, I've had odd badger as well out here early, and sometimes you can get a shot that way. So, you know, rather than just sit here and focus completely on the badgers, I can just keep looking and listening to see if there's anything coming from that direction, even behind me as well. I've tried before, just to check that they're not come out from somewhere else. But I say that's not normally been the case, but it means that I can got a fox right down. There's a hedge line. He's right down at the bottom. I'm just wondering if I can there's a bit of a dip. He's moving really slowly. Could go through the hedge at any point, but I think it's worth. You can't see, but there's a thistle bush. I think if I can get behind that quietly now and then just see if he comes up this way. Try and take you with me. You won't see a bit for a minute. Hold on a sec. Oh, things I do for a living. One of the things you've got to do here is avoid the cow pats as well. Oh God, I'm getting too old for this. So this is basically crawling on one arm with the camera and the vlogging camera in the other. Oh God, there's a nice cow pat there. Try and circumnavigate that. That one's dry, so I'm not too bothered about that. Shit. Ow. Oh God. Right. He's a long way off, so he won't hear me. And the wind's in the perfect. Hold on a sec. I'll stick you up behind these thistles that I'm hid behind. Just try and prop you up. There. Stay. I don't know whether that's going to stay there or not. Right, so I've propped you up in the thistle. I can't see him. He's still walking up the field. Right. Okay. Sorry about your view on here, but I really would like to get a shot. So look, oh, my bloody arms are killing me. He's coming across towards me. He's making his way. I can't believe this is coming into the middle of the field. He's left the hedge. He's just, I don't know whether it's because the sun's in his eyes. He can't smell me, but he is gradually making his way this way. And he's gone. He's gone. Oh, I'm knackered. Literally, that must have been half an hour hand holding that 200, 600 in an awkward position. But just have a quick look at them last shots, because again, the problem here with anything is this grass, and it basically gets in front of the face, and although it's natural, you know, when you get a grass stoat that's going straight across a fox's eye or something like that, it's quite distracting. You try and, you know, shoot through it, but he did come out into the, it came, I'm not kidding, less than 10 metres away from me. That's fantastic. If only the badgers would do that, but let's have a quick look at, I think I've got a couple of crackers there. Now I just need the badgers to come out. There's at least 2 images here, I think, from looking at them that will be good. I'll have to look back at some of the others. The last few were really good because I got them clear of the grass, but there's a couple of others when he was further away that might be okay as well. So a great start to the evening. We just need the badgers to turn up now. Right, okay everybody, those more observant of you will probably be able to see there's a little bit of a continuity error at the minute, although the weather is similar. This is a different day, and you know, had expected when I spoke to you in the beginning of this video that I was going to basically stay here until I got some badger pictures. But I have to say something happened that meant that I couldn't stay here, and yeah, it's something that I suspect, in fact I'd be willing to bet that you will never find anybody else say in any other badger photography video. So I'm going to let you into the little secret about what happened. So after I last spoke to you, I set up the flash, everything ready, and the first thing that happened is we got a little bit of a rainstorm came in, which I wasn't particularly bothered about. Obviously I'm set up to cope with stuff like that, so I just covered the flash up, put the cover on the camera and just sat it out. That passed over, so I thought great, got the flash out, I go and get everything ready, and started to pay attention because I could hear some noise down in the bottom of the ditch there. The next minute I see a little head appear, just briefly, and then disappear, and I thought, oh, that's one of the youngsters, they're out. And I've put the peanuts down, so they're going to be back. So quickly got down and waited a couple of minutes, and then lo and behold, I heard voices. Now bearing in mind this is 10:15 at night at least, and it's a very secluded spot. You probably know what's coming here now I've said secluded spot, but bearing in mind the top of the Motte Bailey is the other side of this hedge here, and the wind's blowing from the top of the Motte Bailey towards me, which is where I needed to be. So I heard voices and I thought, they're on the top of the Motte Bailey. A couple of minutes passed by, I'm thinking, oh, they'll move off, they've probably walked up with a dog. And the next minute, well, I can only describe, if anybody's old enough to remember the film Porky's, and there was a particular lady in that who they mention in the film. Needless to say, there was a lot of noise for 40 minutes, loud noise. I just couldn't believe it. I'll leave it to your imagination for you to think what was going off, but yeah, very strange. I've never been disturbed by that before. I've had mountain bikers, I've had bikers, I've had dog walkers, I've had runners, all that stuff all the time I've been doing photography, but never that. Yeah, so after 40 minutes of it, listening to it like I was in Debbie Does Dallas, I decided that, yeah, this isn't going to stop, I'm going to have to pack up and go. So I packed up and went. Now hopefully that's not going to happen today, but you never can tell. People really should be more careful when there's wildlife photographers around with 600mm lens. Yeah, but I left. So that's the story of why I'm back again today, and hopefully that won't happen again.
There's a badger just down in the ditch, but it just will not come right up. It's hoofed all the peanuts on that, but on the way up, but it just will not come out into the open. Very, very frustrating. I've got, I think, one shot where it sort of poked its head up, and that's about it. I don't know, the dynamic up here just seems to have changed from a few years ago when I could more or less sit 2 or 3 meters away from these badgers and they would just completely ignore me. I don't know what's changed, but it's very, very different at the minute.
Well, hello everybody, and another day, another t-shirt. So it's probably about my, I don't know, 8th session up here, 10th session, something like that. And last night I nearly got there. There was a lot of activity I could hear down in the ditch there, and I did see a badger running across the back, only youngsters, and it obviously came up and started to get at some of the peanuts that I'd put down and stuff, and I thought, right, we're okay here. And then I could still hear him moving about, and then all of a sudden it was like a badger rave down there. I'm not kidding. I could see bushes, smaller trees moving and swaying around, and the noise, I thought, what are they doing down there? I could still hear the badgers, I could still hear the noises, but the noise that they were making from moving around was just incredible. It wasn't till about, this had been going on for about 5 minutes, that one of the cows popped its head out of the gap where I've put all my food down, and obviously the youngsters and some of the adults were in the ditch and charging around. The youngsters would be charging around, and the badgers were still in there, I think, charging around as well. And the cow saw me and then basically shot straight back under. They really are very, very tetchy, these. I mean, normally when you get bullocks in here, I've probably said before, you get them, I've had them chewing my boots and all sorts, you just can't get rid of them, but these don't like, if they see you, that's it, they're gone. But yeah, I stayed around after that. I did manage to get one image of a badger, one of the youngsters, but they're very, very, very cautious, and I don't know why. As I say, I've shot up here for years now, and believe you me, I've been sort of right up close to the edge of the ditch, and I've had them come out 3 meters in front of me and just, you know, took shots, not a problem, and I've been sort of more or less, you know, parallel to them, not a problem at all. But this time, no, I don't understand it at all. So what I've done tonight for this 8th or 10th session or whatever it is, I've moved further back. I've moved about another 6 meters further back, which I can do with this 600mm lens. It's not a problem at all. So I've dropped a little bit further down. So hopefully my silhouette is not going to make too much of a difference to the outlook when they look out of the gap there. That's the plan anyway, and we'll just see what happens. I've also put a log down that I found, which has got a couple of uses actually. One is it just sort of puts something there that maybe they'll climb on, and to ensure that actually this log has got a hole in the top, and I basically have filled that with peanut butter and peanuts, so I'm hoping that we'll get somebody climb on it and start feasting on that. But you know, I would just be happy with something turning up. Right, I'm going to end this video here. As you'll know, if you've watched the progression through this video, I've had various different shirts on because I've done so many sessions up here. When I got up here today, I'd said to myself, and I'd said to Mel, this is going to be my last session up here, because I've worked it out, I've probably done close to 40 hours up here trying to get pictures of these badgers, and I'd convinced myself that, you know, it just wasn't going to happen. But I thought I'll give it one more go. So I put my peanuts and peanut butter out. Recorded the end of this video actually when I got here, because I wasn't expecting anything to turn up. As I say, I've done 40 hours and it's been a complete blank. Apart from those wonderful fox images that I got that you saw at the beginning of the video, it's been really, really hard. So I recorded the end of this video basically saying, well, you know, sometimes I think the theme was, you know, you've got to know when you're flogging a dead horse and when it's time to pack in and go and do something else. And I'd reached that stage today, to be honest. And then lo and behold, I've had 2 badgers out on the hill tonight. And the light's not been brilliant, but I've managed to get some film, and I'll put that film up at the end as well as a couple of images. So it's been really, really nice, but it just did ruin the end of my video. Because I already recorded it basically saying, you know, sometimes it's just time to move on. But yeah, perseverance pays off, I suppose. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this one. Despite the moaning and complaining, I've really enjoyed making it. There can be few things better than being sat out in a wonderful scenery like this on the edge of a hillside with the sun going down. Beautiful dramatic sky tonight. And yeah, you never really know what you get. Well, that's wildlife photography for you. So if anybody fancies having a go at it, then I can thoroughly recommend it. Anyway, that's me done. I'm going to go home for a glass of wine, I think. I think after 40 hours, I deserve it. And I'll get this video put together and get it out to you, and I'll see you soon for another one. Cheers, bye.